What's up, guys? My name is Tai Zen. Welcome to the cryptocurrency.market channel. This is a trading channel where we where we share our real-world experiences in how to grow your portfolio into a 7, 8, and 9-figure portfolio, and then how to manage it properly afterwards. I got with me today the Honorable Grandmaster, legendary, world-renowned LeonFu.com. My business partner and friend on this channel, right? Say hello to everyone, Leon.
Hey guys.
All right. In this video, Leon and I want to make this video to share with you guys how we respond to short-term, crisis events, hacks, businesses going out of business in the short term. These short-term catastrophic events. Okay. For example, like just a day or two ago, we have the issue with FTX.com exchange, right? They're like the second or third biggest exchange outside the U.S. Right? They have a decent amount of trading volume. Now, a decent amount of trading volume. I was going to talk about liquidity, but we'll make that in a different video. Because sometimes people mistake trading volume for liquidity, and those are two different things, right? In the past couple of days, we have an issue with, and this is just a really quick summary so you guys understand, where FTX said they had 14 billion, 14 or 16, 18 billion in assets, and really 16 to 18, it really doesn't make a difference. What's important that you guys need to understand is they said they had around $16 billion, this much billions of dollars in their assets.
Yeah, on the balance sheet.
On their balance sheets. And then when you find out they own a company called Alameda Research, which is a prop trading firm, which means that their purpose is they trade to make money, right? And so this firm over here, right? This company, FTX, is holding assets, and one of the assets they hold is this company called Alameda. And then when you look at how much money they have, they're holding a imaginary token or a made-up token called FTT token, which is produced by this entity over here. So what do you call that in accounting or in
Well, the bottom line is this token was valued at X dollars.
Yeah.
And that's what they were reporting on their balance sheet.
Yeah.
And they were able to secure a loan.
Yeah.
Against that. And
raise money based on that.
And now that the markets are going down, it's like a margin call, right? Except who's giving them the margin call are their depositors, the people with money on FTT, right?
I think so to make things simple, right? The exact details are not as important, guys. And here's the reason why, okay? The exact details are not important. What you guys need to understand is that FTX does not have the money they claim they have. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Their users want their money back.
Yeah, the users
don't have it.
Yeah. Users want their money back and they cannot get it. Yeah. And so they had to suspend withdrawals and then figure out a way to find money and all kinds of shit, okay? So they're trying to find a solution to it, right? And there's rumors that Binance is going to buy them out. Okay, they signed a letter of intent.
Well, it's not a rumor; it was reported.
Yeah, it's a rumor and still gets done.
Yes, but at least that's the intention.
Yeah, that's the intent, but that's not. Until you pay, you don't close the deal.
That's right. The deal's not closed. It's still under.
In my opinion, it's still whether it's a letter of intent. To me, it's no different than.
It's not a done deal.
It's not a done deal until they pay for it. Okay, when they allow people to withdraw their money, and people take their money back, customers get their money back, that's when it's a done deal.
All right.
Okay. Everything else is just a bunch of rumors and a bunch of bullshit. Okay. So So the reason why you don't need to go into details of exactly what happened to FTX to cause the market to crash, right, is because these events will continue to happen, okay? You want to go ahead and list off a dozen or so shit that's happened since we've been in crypto, since we started the first Bitcoin and cryptocurrency trading and investing channel?
Every exchange has gone bust.
So just name some so people know.
I think one of the earliest one was like about BTCE.
BTCE?
Like I traded.
Let's go in the order that we have lost money, so that people,
Cryptsy was the big one.
so people don't think we're full of shit.
Okay. Cryptsy was the big one. Yeah.
Cryptsy was one.
Yeah.
How about
BTCE.
that? How about no? Before in BTCE, how about that exchange? And then Mt. Gox.
Mt. Gox was the big one. Yeah.
So we Cryptsy was one.
Yeah.
We lost a bunch of Dogecoins in there.
Yeah.
And then Mt. Gox, we lost a bunch of Bitcoins. Right. I did.
Yeah. Getting some coffee.
So, cappuccino? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And so, Cryptsy, Mt. Gox, and then actually before BTCE, there was an exchange that we held all our NXTs.
Yeah, I don't recall. What was that?
Yeah, because it didn't last very long. That's why we lost money on that one too.
And I don't even remember the name anymore. Yeah.
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 I will change this also because scroll down by mistake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
Like this, sir?
That's all. I ordered that, right?
Yeah. By mistake, it fall down. So that's why
It's okay. We're not picky. Just leave. Yeah.
Sure.
No big deal.
Okay.
So it's the what is it? The Cryptsy. We lost money in Cryptsy. We lost money in Mt. Gox. We lost money in.
I didn't have any money on Mt. Gox.
Okay, I still got money.
You still got money.
I'm still waiting for
Bitcoins. All right. Cool.
So, whatchamacallit, Mt. Gox, and then there's that one. It's something D. It's also the D. Who cares? It's an NXT exchange.
Yeah, DGEX, I think it was.
DGEX?
Yeah, I think it was DGEX.
Yeah, DGEX.
Back in the day, it's ancient history.
So I lost money on that, and we got team members that lost money on that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, yeah.
And then what else? And then BTCE, right? And then, and it's not; those are not the only businesses. Those are just exchanges. There's a bunch of other services that we have lost money on. For example, like the DeFi, like Celsius, right?
Celsius.
And Hodler, right?
You had some on there?
Yeah, I have money. I still have money on there.
All right.
And they say that they haven't been hacked yet, or they have enough money. But motherfuckers, they let me put. They made me do KYC. They made me do AML, and all the process and everything. Identity check, everything, just like a standard, right? And after I deposit money on there, right? Now they won't let me take it out.
Yeah.
Right? And guess what the reason is?
What's that?
Because I didn't do KYC. They need to do KYC AML. Right? Now, and they said they claim that they changed their policy. I said, motherfucker, if you change your policy, right? And you change your policy and you let me know before you change at least give me a chance to remove my money.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't see anything wrong with that, right?
That's right.
Hey, there's a new policy. If you don't like it, take your money out.
Okay.
However, don't hold my money and freeze it and then tell me
you gotta follow the policy.
Yeah, either I gotta follow your new policy or else you ain't gonna let me take my money out.
Yeah, that's right.
What kind of legitimate business would do some shit like that?
That's right.
Who?
In crypto, it happens.
Yeah,
It's a lot of, there's still a lot of shady.
And there's many more. We've had so many businesses go out of business because they didn't have enough money, right? And most of it, that's the reason. They didn't have the money they claim they have.
Yeah.
Whether they got hacked and didn't have the money or not, the reason doesn't matter.
Or the market went down. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The ultimate reason is that they didn't have the money they claim they have.
That's right.
Right? So they cannot pay customers back, so they go out of business, okay? And the same thing is happening with FTX here. So you don't have to waste time going to try to figure out what exactly happened or whatever, because the final conclusion you're going to come to is that they don't have money to give back to the customers, right? So every time something like this happens, like a Mt. Gox happens, a Cryptsy happens, a Celsius happens, right? And FTX happens, or a U-hodler might about to happen, right? Because they're freezing my money, right? Unless I redo the KYC. Oh, and by the way, I'm open to doing KYC, but guess what they want?
I don't know. What do they want?
Right? They want to record the event. They want to record the KYC process. I'm like, why do you need to record it for?
Okay. I don't know.
Like they want to confirm that my passport and me are actually the same person. I'm like, let's jump on a Skype call. I'll hold up my passport and show it to you.
Yeah.
Like, and they say, oh, we got to record. I said, there's no law that says you got to record it. You just got to verify that the passport that you see and the person that you see here is the same person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no law that says that you have to fucking go through and make sure that the passport is not a counterfeit or nothing like that. Right? Yeah. That I hold up the passport, and the passport that I claim that I am to be, and the face that you see is the same person.
That's right.
Right? That's it. That's KYC. There's no fucking KYC, and they try to cite the law in Europe or whatever. And I looked up the law, and it does not say there's anything recording required. It just says live required.
Live required.
Yeah, live video, but no recording on there. And I asked them to cite it, and fuck it, Yeah. But anyways, basically what's going to go down is this, guys, right? Is that businesses who lose money or don't have money, or for whatever reason don't have money to give back to customers, and they lose it, right? So every time these things happen, there's going to be a small crash in the market, right? What should a trader or an investor do with their portfolios during these short-term events?
Really, I think this is what we've been preaching since the beginning. Is you never know which one of these businesses are going to go next, and you need to keep the majority of your coins off the exchanges still. Even we were getting to the point where perhaps we thought these exchanges got big enough and they were more stable. They had better regulation. They had better controls. They had better compliance. Yeah. But I mean, this bear market is showing us that
nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing has changed.
I think it's better than when we first started.
Yeah, it's a little bit better. But the risk is there that you can lose your money.
The risk is still there that the government's not going to come bail you out.
Yeah.
That you still you still should keep the majority of your assets on your hardware wallets, not your keys, not your coins. All of this still applies. Now the problem is, why do people still do that? They leave their money on exchanges. Well, when we first started, people left their money on exchanges is because they didn't know or didn't want to manage wallets. Yeah, right?
And they didn't have hardware wallet technology.
Yeah, or even that was even way earlier. Yeah. That was before Trezor, right? Yeah. There was no hardware wallets, right? Yeah. Another reason might be they were active traders. Sometimes their business was they were always constantly buying and selling every day or every week, and it was a pain to move money out and then back onto exchanges if your strategy is frequent trading. Even if it's swing trading, it's very hard to move money onto and off of exchanges every few days or every week, right? And not to mention every day, right? But I think this cycle, what's unique, what really hurt a lot of people was people, in a bear market, when your coins aren't, your assets are not going up, people seek income. Yeah. Right? They need that paycheck. Yeah. Right? And it's very I'm watching my portfolio go down, but I still got to pay the bills. Yeah. And I need to find some way to generate money. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And we talked about, and that's what Celsius. That's the kind of thing like Celsius, BlockFi, all these other, and that entices people because they say that, hey, they're not I'm not making any money. I need to pay the bills. I got these Bitcoins lying around here, not doing anything.
So let me try to make some money off of it.
Let me try to make some money off of it. But what what people forget is there's no free lunch. There's no risk-free profit, right? When you're trading, the risk is that the trade goes against you, right? But when you're lending, then
the risk is that you lose everything.
You don't get paid back.
Yeah, you don't get none of the coins back.
You don't get none of that coins back, right? That's the risk, right? That when you need it, that company or that institution doesn't get it back. And if you if you so I did a little of that with Unchained Capital, where they gave you collateral. So one way to generate income was, okay, well, I want to borrow some US dollars. Well, give me some Bitcoins. Give me double the amount of Bitcoins to hold, right? But that shows you in a market crash, Bitcoins can go down 80-85%.
Yeah.
And that's what actually happened to FTX. The collateral that they posted was no longer worth
the money
the money that they borrowed against that collateral.
Yeah.
Right? So, the real focus, what we have to take away from this is you have to recognize the risks.
Yeah.
And it's not just the risk of markets going up and down. That's a big part of it. Like we call that market risk.
Yeah.
Right? But there's counterparty risk. There's collateral risk. There's all these different kinds of risks. And so you need to understand that whatever strategy that you're trying to do, that you understand what those risks and control your bet size. People forget, like, oh, I need to make $50,000 a year, and this company's paying me like, what was Celsius paying? I don't know, like 10%, 10%, right?
No, they were paying 8%.
8%, whatever that number was. Well, I need that, and let me just put all my money into Celsius and get that 8% so I can get the paycheck. It's like, well, what happens if Celsius goes back?
Because I put some money in there to test out their system. Now I lost all my money.
Yeah, now you lost all your money. Yeah.
Okay, so let's because you said something about people trying to make a paycheck during the
bear market.
Bear market. Yeah. Let's just define real quick so that our audience knows what we're talking about, the difference, right? What's a paycheck?
Yeah, because we distinguish. We call one is life-changing profits, and then one is paycheck.
One's paycheck. And we need to define the two so that people are clear in case they're new to our channel.
Yeah.
I mean, the ones that have been following us since for the last decade, it doesn't matter. They know what we talk about. When we say the difference between a paycheck trade and a life-changing profit trade or an investment, right?
Yeah.
A paycheck trade, guys, is a trade where you make a little quick buck just so that you can pay your bills. Yeah. It does not change your life. It's no different
than going to get a job.
Going to get a job. Yeah. Okay. People's, like, for example,
like Celsius, they were doing paycheck. All the people putting money on Celsius,
we're making paycheck.
We're trying to make paycheck money. Yeah. Right? They were trying to just say, hey, I got some.
This channel, guys, in order to get you to a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio,
paychecks are not going to
do it, guys. Okay, let me tell you guys how, again, okay, to make life-changing profits, okay, you guys cannot have a paycheck mindset.
Yeah, and that's 99% of the people out there. Right?
99.99999%. Okay, right? If you guys notice that on our channel, you rarely see us do technical analysis. You rarely see it. Like, we do technical analysis. All the stuff that we teach, technical analysis is about 5% of what we teach. Do we know how to do technical analysis? I believe we were one of the strongest technical analysis teams out there, right? How do I know that? Because we actually put millions of dollars onto the technical analysis we actually do. Versus you see some of these guys doing technical analysis every day, they don't even put $100 on what their technical analysis tells them, right? So don't look at how much technical analysis that a trader does on his channel, but look at how much money they actually put onto that trade when they do the technical analysis. That to me is more,
and we use other concepts such as like marginal utility of money.
But the paycheck trade and life-changing profit trade, right? You can tell which channels are focusing on which ones, because the ones that focus on paychecks will focus a lot on technical analysis. Okay, and we can tell you guys, if you want to grow your portfolio to $100, to $1,000, to $100,000, you can do all that stuff you want. But if you want to grow your portfolio into a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio, right? Technical analysis should not be the focus, the majority of your focus. It is a part of your focus. It is a part of trading, but it is not the majority of your focus. Life-changing profits requires you more than one day of holding time, more wasn't 1 month, right?
Could be years.
It could be several years, okay? We are talking months and years. We are not talking about days, okay? So any kind of short-term trading that you do, right, you can almost bet that that is not going to be life-changing. Life-changing profit is what? I mean, it's something that...
It's an amount of money that permanently changes the way you live.
Yeah.
And that's different for everybody.
Yeah, let's use an example. Like, let's say that your family, no one's ever been to college, no one's ever gotten a college degree.
That's right.
And you finally make enough money in crypto to like pay for yourself to go to college.
Or one of our students, he paid off his parents' mortgage, and that's life changing for them.
Exactly.
His father was old and ill, and he paid off his. He took some of the a portion of his profits from crypto and paid off his parents' mortgage. Yeah, that is life changing.
Like we got the student right next to us right here. This Vietnamese student next to us. We're broadcasting from Dubai right now, right next to the airport, and we got one of our Vietnamese students who, you know, he was one of the youngest millionaires that we produce in Vietnam, and he found out we were in Dubai, so he flew over here just to follow along with us, just to learn from us what the hell we're doing here, what kind of research are we doing here, right? So he just asked us, hey, can I come tag along with you guys to see how you guys talk to the banks and how you guys talk to the lawyers and everything? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So here he is. He's sitting right here next to the camera.
He's running the camera for us,
right? So, and the reason why he's able to just come over to Dubai and just follow us when he found out that we were here, and at the last minute too, so it's not like he planned it ahead of time, right? Is because because it changed his life for when he enrolled into our course, the cryptocurrency investing blueprint. It completely changed his life. Within like 3 years, he became a millionaire and was able to retire, right? Now keep in mind, he's like me. He's a high school dropout in Vietnam. Everybody's looking down at him. All the girls thought, you know, he's a loser and everything, and none of those girls think he's a loser now. Okay, so that's life changing. You know, when all the girls think you're a loser and now they all want to sleep with you, right? That's life changing.
That's right. That's life changing.
When you don't have a high school degree and the whole neighborhood thinks you're the dumbest kid in the village, right? And
or you
now,
or paying off your mortgage and stuff like that.
And now they realize you never have to work again for the rest of your life. You know, after they've been laughing at you for all these years, right? That's life changing.
That's right.
Right. So
those are examples. Everybody's different. Yeah.
For every person, like if you've never had a car in your life and now you have a car for the first time and you can transport your family back and forth safely, right? That's life changing. So when we say life changing profits is different for each person. Like for us, the biggest, you know, for us, life changing profits was being able to quit our day job.
Our golden handcuffs.
Yeah, because he was working at Dell Computers. He was one of the top iOS developers there. He was the highest paid iOS developer there that we know of when he was working at Dell Computers, right? And they paid him high enough to put some golden handcuffs for him so that he couldn't leave.
That's right.
Right? But they paid you just enough, just high enough to when you decide to leave, you're like, oh man, they pay me so much, you know? And that's what we call the golden handcuffs, is when the corporate world pays you just high enough so that
you can't walk away.
So that it kills the motivation for you to walk away.
That's right.
Right? And follow your dreams.
That's right.
Right? So you're there building their dreams.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we have one student, he works for Amazon, and he's like, they pay him really well. He's like a middle manager at Amazon. He's got like 5-10 engineers underneath him.
Yeah, he's got a whole team.
He's made life-changing profits and following us.
Yeah.
But he can't walk away. He still can't walk away.
Because they know that, so they paid him even more than what they paid you before.
He makes more than I do as an
just
engineer.
To make sure he doesn't walk away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he can't walk away, and that is like I think he needs another 10x on top of that for him to walk away.
Yeah.
Right?
because right now, even though he has an 8-figure portfolio, right? Over an 8-figure portfolio, he still won't walk away just because they pay him just enough so that he won't give it up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for us, life-changing profits was being able to walk away from our day job. Right?
Yeah.
And we did that in 2017, right? So Now, this channel is about life-changing profits, right? If you ever go to a conference, you'll hear a bunch of people screaming at us, life-changing profits. They don't even call me Ty, they don't even call you Leon. They just yell out life-changing profits.
Yeah.
Remember the first time we went to New York, everybody was yelling at us, life-changing profits from across the conference room and shit, right? Like, what the fuck, you know? It actually surprised us for a minute there before we realized they were talking about us. They were yelling at us. Right? Yeah. So this channel is not about making paycheck trades, guys. This channel is about making life-changing profits, right? And when it comes to making life-changing profits, there's basically just 4 actions that you guys can do in the markets. You can either buy, you can sell, you can hold, or you can stay out and do nothing. So doing nothing is also a legitimate action. It's also a valid action in the markets. So right now, the action that we're taking is doing nothing. So don't think that doing nothing is not a valid action. Doing nothing is also a valid action. So we make it clear so that we're not one of these channels that's confusing as shit for people to follow, because we are trying to help the people understand these complex financial concepts and blockchain concepts and be able to make life-changing profit from it, right? And you personally, what action did you take? Did you buy, did you sell, did you hold, or did you stay out and do nothing during this short-term crisis with FTX?
For the most part, I am doing nothing.
Okay.
We did get out earlier in the year, in this year.
Yeah, you got out in January 2022, and I got out
2022. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 2022.
And I got out in February.
Yeah, February sometime. Yeah. So
like a week after you did, a week or two.
Yeah. So we took enough out, and we said, all right, this is it was a life-changing amount of profits, right? A good size of our portfolio. And since then, we've been focused on legal, on.
So basically, the action that we took out since the beginning of the year is stay out and do nothing.
Pretty much stay out and do nothing.
Even with the interest rate hikes, even with the midterm elections coming, even with
pretty much doing nothing. And the things that we have done is like maybe we might buy some bonds, but those are paycheck trades. Those are
that's for capital preservation.
Capital preservation.
So let's not confuse the students. Right? That's strictly for capital preservation.
So we've been focused on that. Capital preservation.
And everything else is just legal compliance
compliance and trying to get ready for the next bull market, right? So we're looking out towards when the market's running again, which we think is sometime in 2023, but it may be 2024, right?
Nobody knows the exact.
Nobody knows the exact.
We're just guessing.
But what we want to be is when the market does turn, which we know will happen. Like we want to make sure our legal structure, we want to make sure our everything is set, right?
Okay. Before we finish talking about the legal structure, because I just want to finish that thought about your action. So you're staying out doing nothing, all year long, all of 2022 so far.
As far as yes,
I've stayed out, do nothing also. Right now, I have done some small testing here and there with uHodler, with HODLNOT, with all these different platforms, just to see what it's like, because our lawyers said, hey, don't talk about something that we haven't done. So
that's right.
I got to test each one of these platforms before I talk about it on our channel, right? So that we can say that we're a real world trading channel, right? So nobody can fucking sue us for saying some shit that we haven't done yet.
Yeah, that's right.
So I've been staying out the bulk of my money. I've been staying out. I haven't done anything, right? So the rest of our team, we don't know of anybody that's doing anything, right?
Yeah, it's really a period not to do. I mean,
it's a time to do nothing.
It's a time to really do nothing, right? Like if you're doing, as far as in terms of life-changing profits. Now, are there traders out there who are shorting the market and doing all these other things? Yes.
No, we don't recommend that.
We don't recommend that. And if that's what you want to do, that's not our channel, right? That's someone else.
You're taking the same amount of risk. The reason why we don't recommend it, guys, is you're taking the same amount of risk. The risk that you take to make a paycheck trade, right, only makes you a paycheck. So why take the risk and only make a paycheck when you can take the exact same amount of risk and make life-changing profits? Why? To me, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, what motivates people? Let's talk about that then, right? Let's talk about why people do paycheck trades, right? Whether it's lending or day trading,
short-term
trading, shorting, buying, whatever, right? Because there's a lot of pressure. We all feel like there's a lot of pressure that we have bills every month, right? And we've talked about we've also talked about it, right? We talked about okay, if the interest rate is this percent in Vietnam, and then you need how many months, and 1 year is this much, then what's the amount you need to take out? And that's a paycheck, right?
Yeah.
Basically, all right, I need this much amount each month.
Yeah.
And so, but you have to realize that these are two separate concepts, right? And strategies, and the goals are different.
Yeah.
Right. The goal of a paycheck trade is number one, safety.
Yeah.
That is before you even think about like if it's for 4% or 10% or whatever percentage return, or before you think about like, okay, what's my risk to lose it?
Yeah.
Right. Because the number one thing for a paycheck trade, whatever your strategy, is that you get your money back.
Yeah.
Right. And before you even think about like what is the APR or whatever the rate of return is.
Yeah.
Right. And versus where a life-changing profits trades, it's more like, all right, I control my bet size.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to lose it all.
Yeah.
For the potential like a
changing my
year,
life.
2 years, 5 years, 10 years.
An unknown
time period that permanently changes my life.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's a totally different strategy than a paycheck. But like it is important. That's why all of us have, bought bonds or lend to Celsius or do something, because we all have bills. We all have a stream of income that we it's very psychologically very hard. If you don't get a paycheck, then you watch your asset. Then you're spending down your assets. Yeah, and that's now. If you have taken out enough profits, that's okay. Like mathematically, that's okay because you haven't. We talked about runway, right? Because we know the bull market's coming again in 2, 3, 4 years. You've covered yourself by taking out enough profits, and you don't need a paycheck. Yeah, right. Yeah, but still, even if you don't need it, and you don't, it's very psychologically every month. Okay, watching you spend down your profits, right? Yeah. And that's what motivates people. Oh, let me stick all this into Celsius and get 10%, so I'm not losing my savings. My savings. Yeah. Right. But
most people think I'm trying to put my money to work.
Yeah. Or they say But it's for a paycheck. Yeah. Right. But I've been spending down my savings. Right. Mostly because the kinds of paycheck trades I do, it's safety number one. Yeah. So it doesn't cover my expenses. Yeah. But I took out enough that it's okay. Yeah. Right. Because I have enough runway. Yeah. Right. For 4 or 5 years. I clearly have that sitting in like a treasury or like a money market or something like that. Yeah. Right. Does it cover my bills? No, it doesn't. But I know I'm not going to lose it. I know the U.S. government, when those bonds come due, I'm going to get my dollars back. Okay. Right. Yeah.
So that we focus on the and we'll make a more in-depth video about the difference between a paycheck trade and a life-changing profit trade later. To continue that conversation. But going back to what a trader should do during the short-term crisis, right? So you said that you don't do nothing. I said I don't do. We haven't changed nothing, right? We don't react. So basically, on our team, and what we have taught our students to do is during the short-term crisis, we don't let the short-term crisis affect our behaviors for our long-term goals of life-changing profits. That's right. Now, if your goal is a paycheck trade, then you'll look for opportunities. Yeah, well,
Bitcoin just crashed 10% on FTX. Yeah. Maybe you want to buy some Bitcoin at 18,000 so you can sell it when it goes back to 20, right? Yeah. And that's a paycheck trade. Yeah. Okay. So if you do that, right? But our goal is not life-changing. Our goal is not to make a paycheck, to share with people how to make a paycheck on this channel. Yeah. Our goal is how to permanently change your life by making life-changing profits. That's right. Right? Uh-huh. So during the short-term crisis, right, we don't do none of that nonsense, right? Yeah. Because the risk of losing all your money is a lot higher than making a paycheck. That's right. Okay, so that's the reason why we don't want our students taking that risk, because they're taking a risk and not changing their life. That's right. Okay. That's right. Like why? Like if you need a paycheck, like that's why we teach during the bull market, you take out enough money to change your life, so that you don't need that paycheck. Yeah. So well, it's not that you don't need that paycheck. You don't have to focus on making a paycheck. That's right. You don't have to focus on that paycheck, right? Okay. And that's really what life-changing profits is. is, right?
Yeah.
To get you to a point where you don't need to focus on that paycheck,
Yeah.
right? And you can focus on something else, right?
Yeah.
Or what is going to be, after you've changed your life, what's the next thing you want to change?
Yeah.
Right? And for us, it might be charity. It might be helping other people in your family, helping community, and that's what we focus on is like, okay, at this point of our life, we've already changed our life, but for the next bull market, what is life changing at that point, right? And so that's where we'd rather focus on is the next, what's going to be life changing in the next bull market.
And focus ourselves to be ready for that.
Yes.
Right. So on the short-term crisis, like Celsius, like Luna.
Luna was another one, yeah.
Celsius, Luna, and then now we are FTX, right? We get rid of all these little short-term events, and we say that, hey, you know what? We are not going to worry about them, right? Because that does not affect our long-term goals. Because if you look at the long-term charts over several months, over several weeks, over several months, over several years, lots of these things will happen. There'll be lots of pullbacks because companies go out of business, right? And you guys might think that this is like frequent, like lots, why there's so many companies going out of business and why so many places getting hacked and stuff like that. So you want to share with them so that they can understand the difference between the traditional markets where they get bailouts, and in the crypto market there is no bailout.
Yeah, there's no bailout, guys. So when things fail, they fail, and they're gone, and your money's gone, right?
Yeah.
Like in the traditional markets, you have FDIC up to $250,000 in your brokerage account. You have SIPC
up to $500,000,
right?
Insurance.
If you're in a credit union, then it's another acronym. I forgot what it is.
Yeah.
Right. So in the traditional markets, you have these well-regulated, the government is going to bail you out, right? And this is still only around a decade, right?
Not really even a decade. It's only been around since 2017.
Well, Bitcoin, if you count from Bitcoin.
But back then everybody was calling it a scam, so nobody took it seriously.
No one took it seriously.
It wasn't until 2017 that it was no longer considered a scam.
So I would say that at least U.S.-based exchanges are highly regulated. Mm-hmm. I think we would all agree, like Coinbase and Gemini. They're much better regulated than Mt. Gox, right?
Yeah. Also Kraken.
And Kraken, right? They're all like, okay, they follow all their federal and state laws, whatever their jurisdiction is for a financial institution. Yeah. That's why they KYC you and do all those things. But like FTX and has shown us, and Celsius and all these newer businesses, they like until they have like a decade or two of track record, you have to treat them almost as like buying an altcoin. Yeah. Right? And you're thinking like, why am I taking that risk for 10%? Yeah. 8% a year? Why am I doing that for a paycheck?
Yeah, would you give all your assets and all your money to some random dude on the streets?
For 8%?
For 8%? Some dude you don't know?
Yeah.
Well, that's what you're doing. Like when I gave my money to Celsius, right? I'm just giving this to some random dude.
Yeah.
Just
for 8%.
For 8%. Some random dude.
With no collateral. At least when you're lending to some random dude, you're like, all right, I'm gonna let's say give you $100,000 loan, give me 8%.
They
but now give me some of your bitcoins, right? All as collateral, right? Yeah. Then maybe that's a deal worth doing, because now you're like, all right, you stiffed me, I got your bitcoins. Yeah. I got more bitcoins than what I lent to you, right? Yeah. That makes sense. But why would you give a unsecured loan to these institutions? Yeah. That's there's nothing, you don't have a claim on anything. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So you got to evaluate the risk to the reward.
Yeah, it's just not worth it.
It's just not worth it. Yeah.
So the reason why we don't focus on too many short-term trades, right, is because the reason why we don't do that is because these things will continue to happen, because at the moment there are no bailouts in crypto. So when a business fails, it fails. Either it fails and goes out of business, or if they're fast enough, they get somebody to buy them out so that they don't fail completely.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Which just happened to FTX.
Yeah.
Binance just bought them out. And,
Or no, Binance is promised
to buy them out.
Said they would, but we don't know until it's finalized.
So if you have any money on FTX, you're just hoping Binance buys them out, right?
Yeah. And you get some of it back.
Yeah, you get some of it back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So just to review, guys, during these short-term crises, they will continue to happen before we make the life-changing profits. May happen one more time, 10 more times, a dozen more times, right? We don't care too much about it, right? Because it does not affect our long-term view of crypto.
Yeah.
Now, just that we are clear, right? These are businesses come and go. They go out of business.
Right.
So, like the Small Business Administration gave out statistics in the U.S., right? They track all the small business in the U.S. and they say that the numbers could be wrong, guys, but I'm not off by a large number, okay? They say 90% of the business fail within the first year.
Yeah.
And then whatever's remaining, 90% of them will fail within the next 5 years, okay? So whenever we put our money onto that exchange, right, and if it's a business that's new or a project that's new in the first year, we can expect that more than likely 90% of them will fail.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And then within the next 3 to 5 years, the remaining 90% of the remainder will fail. So that means out of 100 projects or 100 businesses that start today, 90 of them will die out at the end of this year.
That's right.
In 12 months. And then after that, the 10 that's remaining, 90 of them will die out within the next 3 to 5 years. So 1 out of 100 projects will become profitable or successful. Yeah. Right?
And that's the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, the Googles, the Microsofts, the names everybody knows.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we don't focus on too many paycheck trades, guys, because what happens is you are risking all your money into something that has a extremely high probability of going to zero.
That's right.
Right? Whereas when we focus on a more life-changing profit trade, right, then
the risk is the same. It's going to go to
the risk is the same.
Yeah.
However, there's an opportunity to change your life.
Yeah.
The risk is no different. You can lose everything also, but the difference is that when you have a mindset and a strategy to make life-changing profits, right, then at least when you are right, you can change your life.
Yes.
Whereas when you have a paycheck strategy, right, you take the same risk. When you're wrong, you lose everything, right? If I take a paycheck trade or a paycheck strategy, or I use a paycheck strategy and you use a life-changing profit strategy, both of us have the same risk. If you're wrong,
you lose your money.
You lose everything. If I'm wrong, I lose everything. Okay? Now, so that's equal. But we're taking the same amount of risk, but when I'm right, all I do is just make a paycheck to pay for 1 or 2 months worth of living expenses, right? Whereas when you're right, you permanently change your life.
Yeah.
You see, guys, that's the reason why you don't see us encouraging too many paycheck trades on our channel, because that to us is not worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about the one thing. Whenever there's a short-term crisis, that is not just a short-term crisis. It's systemic. It's systemic.
Yeah.
Right. So, meaning, can you define what is systemic before we explain?
Something that threatens the entire ecosystem.
Okay.
All right. Something that threatens and let's use an example. All right. Yeah. The Great Financial Crisis of 2008.
Yeah.
That was systemic.
Yeah.
That was more like if the government didn't bail us out, right, then the entire financial system collapses.
Everyone is affected whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter whether you took risk or you didn't take risk.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter if
you were in the market or out of the market.
It doesn't matter, right?
You still got affected.
I think Hank Paulson was the Treasury Secretary at that time, and he did an interview. He said, we were hours he said, from going to an ATM and no money would come out.
Yeah.
Okay. He says we came within hours of that happening.
Yes.
All right.
And he was the Secretary of Treasury for the United States, guys.
At that time. Yeah. At that time.
Okay.
Right. And he said that's why we did what we did. Right.
Okay.
And so that is something where well, you got that like risk management, all the tradition can't save you.
Yeah.
Because if the entire system fails, if the banks just like blow up, well, it doesn't matter like whether you were holding crypto or you were holding cash in the bank, it's all gone.
Yeah.
Right. That is something that is a different strategy.
Okay.
And maybe we can talk about that.
Okay. So that's an example in the traditional
markets.
Traditional markets.
Yeah.
Right. Now, let's use an example of a systemic risk in the crypto market.
Okay. All right.
Right. What's a good example that's easy to understand?
I think that we came close.
Yeah.
Is Mt. Gox, right? At the time when Mt. Gox failed, they controlled 90% of the trading volume.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where, hey, the Bitcoin network wasn't going to get affected. You can still send and receive Bitcoins, right?
Yeah.
But it could get to the point where you can't, there's no liquidity for you to do anything with it.
Yeah. Because
right?
they were the only exchange
They were the only exchange. They were like 90% of the volume. All right.
Yeah.
This was before Coinbase, before I didn't know it. Like I bought my first few Bitcoins from Charlie Shrem, right?
Yeah.
From
BitInstant,
right? Back then, right? I mean, what? Like this 23-year-old kid, this guy who's going to buy and sell it, right?
Yeah. So when Mt. Gox collapsed and got hacked and they collapsed, it was a systemic risk. A systemic risk means it's a risk to the entire system.
It's a risk to the entire. Right. And what's an example where I would say what would threaten the whole crypto market today?
Yeah.
I do believe it would be like Tether as an example, right?
Yeah.
Because most of the trading volume is on Tether, and Tether is being used like a U.S. dollar, especially outside of the United States.
So is it safe to say that a systemic risk would be something that would stop almost everyone from being able to conduct transactions?
That's right.
Right. So for example, like Mt. Gox was a systemic risk because once they got hacked, where would you buy and sell your coins at?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, because the majority of the market was on there.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So luckily, I think at that time was it Bitstamp and BTCE?
Bitfinex, I think was out there.
Bitfinex. Yeah, those three guys came along, and they came along just in time.
Yeah, that's right.
So there was a few months there where people weren't sure, like, okay, where the hell am I going to trade or buy or sell Bitcoins?
And not only that, they held like 70, 80. I don't know what the percentage of Bitcoins that they were holding. Right, it was a big chunk of all of the Bitcoins that were out. How many Bitcoins I forgot it during the bankruptcy.
It was 800,000.
800,000. Yeah,
and they only recovered 200,000.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna get hopefully I get 25% of the coins I lost.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, I mean that's something that that you can't use traditional money management or risk allocation that we talked about. You have to go out. You have to position a portion of your assets outside of the system. Right?
So basically, a systemic risk would be something that happens that affects the large majority of the market participants.
That's right.
And when the Mt. Gox got hacked, it affected a massive amount of market participants.
That's right.
Whereas today, if one business goes out of business,
it's just that one business.
It's just that one business and its clients. The rest of the market participants can still continue.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
So that's the reason why you guys need to understand that when a lender such as Celsius collapses and goes out of business, or when an exchange like FTX runs out of money and goes out of business, right? You have to ask yourself, does that prevent the large majority of the market participants from doing what they want to do? And the answer is no. The FTX going out of business
affects
right?
FTX customers.
Right? Affects their customers, right? And their token holders, right? I can still trade. I can still do everything that I want to do with my portfolio, right? And you can too, right? And all our students can too, right? So the only people that are affected are by the users that were using FTX.com or had their tokens, or the combination of both. But the majority of the market can still do what they want to do. Okay, so we want to make this video, guys, so that you guys understand. You guys don't have to text us and ask us, hey, what should I do or whatever every time there's a short-term crisis that happens, right? Unless it's a large systemic risk to the entire market where it affects a large majority of the participants in the market, right? We don't let it bother us, because it's natural in the cryptocurrency market. That's naturally how the business world works, guys, when you have no government bailouts. Businesses rise, they don't know how to operate their business, they do not know how to manage their money. No one's going to come and bail them out, right? If they cannot convince investors and VCs and people to put money into them, right, then they go out of business. And that should be how it should work. We should not have governments coming in, right, and bailing out businesses that don't know how to run their businesses, okay? Because you got millions of small mom and pops, family businesses that when they fail, they don't know how to run their business, right? The government just lets them die out, okay? So it's not fair to let millions of small businesses fail and die out and then just come out and bail out these big ones just because they have more money or they're able to pay off the politicians, okay?
So what happens?
Remember what you said about you went to the conference and share what you heard CZ, the founder of Binance, said about, hey, during the bear markets, we don't go out and buy stadium.
That's right. He was saying, what was that this was in Austin when at Consensus, he spoke at Consensus. He was just telling us about Binance was very well positioned, and one of the reasons is they didn't waste money trying to put their name on stadiums like we know who, right?
Yeah.
Or putting Super Bowl ads, or having Matt Damon, get on the Super Bowl, telling us how cool crypto was, right? Yeah. And so, you really wonder about FTX. Like, if they didn't have any money, what were they doing? Like, why were they putting their names on stadiums? And don't you think they should have kept a little more cash on hand for the bear market, which we know all happens. We know this is coming.
Like all businesses should know that, hey, businesses go through good times and bad times, and when you go through the good times, you save up the money so that in case you go through the bad times, you have money to pay for employees, you pay for advertising, and you keep your business running. So when a business runs to the good times, as soon as they hit the good times, they spend all that money on dumb shit, and then when the bad times comes and they have no money to sustain their business, well, then they should go out of business, but they don't know how to fucking run a business. It's simple.
That's
I mean, the reason why our business has survived 5 years now is because have we been through some hard times with our business? But when we go through the good times, we know, hey, you know what, we need to save some of this money up for the bad times, for the rainy days, for when the market's not doing so well.
That's right. Like now.
And so that we have money to pay employees, pay for the websites to continue running, pay for the data to continue going to our students and shit, right? We don't go and spend all the fucking money, and then when the bad times hit and we lose money and we bitch and cry, and then
it doesn't matter. We're small, right? No one's coming to bail us out. So.
Exactly. So that's the thing that you guys need to be aware of. Okay, is be able to realize that there are things that happen that is not going to affect the entire market, and there's things that happen that will affect the entire market long term. Okay, that will affect it long term, and you don't need to ask us or ask another person if what you should do or whatever. It should not affect your long-term view. If you have a long-term strategy on making life-changing profits in the crypto market, right? These short-term events, right? A company going out of business should not affect impact your long-term view of the market. However, if there is a real systemic risk, then that is something that might change, right?
We may have to react to that.
Yeah,
yes.
right. Like for example, we were in the U.S. and before January of 2018, I'll give you guys an example, okay, of a long-term effect on the market, okay, or a systemic change in the market. When we were in the U.S. before 2018, we were to make profits from this coin, and then before we pay taxes on the profits, we could take all that money and put it into another coin, and then make more profits and roll over into the next coin, and make more profits and roll over to the next coin, and make more profits and roll over here, right? But now, after January 2018, the law
changed the law
in the U.S. And they said you cannot do that.
Only real estate you can do that.
You can only do that with real estate. Anything else, if you make money here, whatever the profit is, you got to pay taxes on it before you roll it over to the next investment, and then you got to pay taxes on that before you go to the next one. You pay taxes on that before you go into the next one. So that affected our ability to make life-changing profits, right, drastically. So we had to make massive changes to our trading system of how we deal with that issue. Okay. Well, one way was I just left the U.S. completely.
That's one way to do it.
And some of our students did the same thing. They just decided, hey, you know what? I don't want to be under that tax jurisdiction no more. So they just left completely, right? And that's the reason why we're here in Dubai.
That's where not right? Us, but I'm sure there's a lot of crypto people here for the same reason. Right?
But for the same reason, right? Is that they want to fix this systemic issue that's in their
jurisdiction. Right?
In their trading strategy.
Yes, that's right.
So there are certain things that when you get to a higher level, guys, when you start managing like a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio, most of the what do you call that? Most of the things that you'll be focusing on, guys, is usually has to do with legal and compliance in jurisdictions. And the reason is because that makes a bigger impact on you making life-changing profits than just technical analysis. Okay. And I don't want you guys to think that technical analysis is not important, guys. I want you guys to realize it's just a small component of your entire trading system. And when we say small component, how small? I would say less than 5% of your overall trading system. So if you're spending, 99% of your time on technical analysis, right? You are probably spending the bulk of your time on one of the smallest components in your trading system. The bulk of your time should be focused on other things that are way more important than that, right? If you don't know what a trading system is, you don't know what components are important, you don't know what components to focus on, and what components not to waste time focusing on, then I highly recommend that you get a copy of our cryptocurrency investing blueprint. The cryptocurrency investing blueprint is, in my opinion, the absolute best training program on the market that shares our real world experience on how we grew a small amount of money, right, to a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio. And once you get there, how to properly manage it and preserve it so you don't lose it. Okay, so it's not just getting there, but being able to keep it once you get to that level, right? Because like in 2017, we had about 30 students that thanked us for helping them become millionaires with our training. And then within like 10 months later, we only had about maybe 10 or 12 left, right? And then in 2021, right, we had probably close to 100 people thanking us for helping them become millionaires in crypto. And I would say like same thing within like, probably 8 months later, 6 to 8 months later, right? Less than, it's safe to say like less than half of them are still millionaires. So it's not just making it, guys, but being able to just keep it and preserving it through the cycles. Through the cycles, right? Yeah. So we have been, like on our team, we've been fortunate that we've made in 2017, we've kept all of it. We haven't spent it down, right? You haven't, I haven't. And then in 2021, what we've made, right, we still kept it. And so far, it does not look like we are going to, drain that either.
Yeah.
Right before the next bull market. So moving forward, because of what the system that we share with you guys in the cryptocurrency investing blueprint, right? It doesn't. There's no signs right now at the moment, right, that we are going to drain down the money that we have made. It will only continue to grow moving forward from here, right? So if you are interested in getting a copy of that cryptocurrency investing blueprint, I highly recommend you go get it at www.cryptocurrency.market/blueprint and get you a copy there, right? If you guys haven't followed us on Twitter already, you can follow Leon at, what's your Twitter handle?
Leon Sifu.
At Leon Sifu.
At Leon Sifu.
Hey, you know Sifu means master in Chinese, right?
I did not know that.
Huh? Come on,
I did
man.
not know that.
Have you watched all the old Kung Fu movies?
I do not, but okay.
Come on, man. You've never heard of Sifu?
No, I have not heard of that, no. But it's all right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. You can follow me on Twitter at HeyTaiZen, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thank you.